shackle. We're going to be grinding off the rivets to get this rear shackle mount off, so that we can get the shackle, you know, hopefully eventually replaced and put back on. So you can see we have our expert level tools used to jack this thing up. Right now we're just jacking the frame up.
And there we go. It's your turn to do some dirty work.
Doesn't sound like fun.
Alright, so we got the old bracket off in here, so now we're going to be trying to get this bolt out of the top bushing so that we can get the old top bushing out and this broken off shackle off. So while we're twisting and trying to get that out, we'll let you know if we manage to get it out, because it's going to be kind of hard to record what we're doing up in here.
Okay, the camera's looking nice.
Poor Stinner's fine. Stupid carrying things. They're up to me. I'd work till midnight without food. You
Why it's not up to you.
Collapsed unconscious and under a car.
Judging by the way we have this thing jacked up, that would happen anyway.
You're true. This is going for now, like, so let me lower this to where it needs to be. Excuse you. Sounds like it's laughing. Alright, I don't know if you guys can see, we did get the old broken shackle off. We're actually just going to reuse the old bushing because we didn't buy a replacement one, and it's actually not that bad looking. It's not really deteriorating or anything. So we're going to go ahead and get the new bracket on here. We're going to sand this first and paint behind here so that behind the bracket's painted for when we raptor the undercoat the rest of the frame, that we won't have to get behind the bracket. Alright, I don't know if you guys can see, we're able to get all this wire brushed and painted with some primer and paint. We got most of the rust chunks off, the rest is just kind of bubbled crap that wouldn't come off, but it's going to be a lot better than what it was. So we're going to try to get that new bracket on here.
My name's Jacob, and I forgot to plug in the auxiliary cord so that you guys could hear us, so I'm going to narrate this. So as you can see here, we got the new bracket on. It was quite the pain to get that on. We actually had to end up taking off that bottom frame support bracket because it wouldn't line up with the new bracket. We also had to drill 2 new holes in the new bracket they provided because the factory couldn't seem to drill straight holes in a uniform pattern. So that was fun. So yeah, we got the new bracket on. As you can see, the other side, we're getting that bolt through to get that shackle on. So hopefully we can do this. It's really hard to narrate this and try to see what's going on. But yeah, we got the new bracket on with the new shackle coming down and the bolts through.
All right, so we're going to be doing the same to this side as we did to the other side, which is going to be taking off the bracket and the shackle and the bolts and everything. So we'll just let you guys know when this is done, because it's just going to be the same boring process as that. So yeah.
Alright, so after 3.5 hours, we're going to ignore that. After 3.5 hours, we got this shackle and bracket replaced. That was a huge pain. We're just going to ignore that exists. Now it's time to take off the hitch here so that we can get to the frame up underneath and see if the hitch is still usable, because it's a little rusty here. So we're going to take off the hitch, and then we're going to get to sanding the frame so we can treat it.
Is it clip? You got it?
Yeah.
Freaking trying to get this off. Oh, got it. Oh. Alrighty, so I'm going to be taking the fancy needle scaler tool with the air compressor and, wait for this to focus, knocking out all this crap, all this rust that's everywhere in here. Just kind of show before on how bad this is. It's pretty gnarly in here. Up in here, and then the back of the differential is has seen better days. As you can see, all this is just flaking right off. We're gonna be hitting all this, getting all that up there. This is pretty bad up in here. So this is basically what it looks like before, all up in here, before it all gets done. So, without further ado, we're gonna get started.
Alright, so we got everything under here needle scaled and wire brushed. It looks significantly better than it did before. It still has rust particles on it, but we're going to take the air compressor over it, load off the air compressor, and then degrease everything to get the remaining rust off there and any other junk off the frame. And then we'll prime it.
Oh, God.
Alright, so we did not record any of the priming process because we did not want to ruin our camera, but as you can see here, we got all of this primed. Ignore the giant gaping hole in the cross member. Yeah, so we got all this here primed and is ready to be painted or undercoated. Differential here was looking a little worse for wear, so we coated that pretty heavy. Everything back there is coated well. So that's 2 coats of primer, and we will be getting to coating it in the next day or so. So yeah, everything's primed and ready to go under here.
Hey, just want to show you guys kind of what I found with the hitch. I wire brushed the whole hitch off, and one of the major things I found was this massive chunk of rust missing, and I personally didn't feel comfortable putting this used hitch back on with all the weight we're going to be carrying with this thing, so we're just going to end up ordering a new hitch. So we'll show you guys whenever that comes in and when we install that. Alright, just kind of wanted to show you guys the game plan for what's going on. I'm going to be putting on the undercoating today. So in terms of the primer we used, we went with the Raptor Acid Etch primer. I've had really good luck with this stuff. As long as you wire brush like the frame and then you degrease it, this stuff eats into the metal a little bit and really helps create a nice good coating for this Raptor bed liner to stick to. This is mainly meant for like truck bed liners and stuff, but I've used this on 3 truck frames now, and it does really well. You just mix it with a hardener that they give you, and then you really anyone can do it. It comes with either this gun or you just buy these. They're called like the Raptor spray guns or whatever, but you just hook them up to your air compressor and you screw this black bottle onto the gun, and then you can just shoot it and spray it on. It's pretty easy. You just got to work quick, because when that stuff starts to set and get hard, it's impossible to get off. And obviously you got to throw the gun away because it's no good after that. But when this stuff hardens, it like almost never comes off. So I will show you guys a few shots of me applicating this product on the sides of the frame and stuff, but I don't want to get our camera anywhere near this stuff because I don't want to damage the camera at all and not be able to get something off of it. This is our only GoPro, and we were barely able to afford it with what we had, so I want to take care of it. But I will keep you guys updated with what's going on. Alright, just got done raptoring, or, you know, undercoating everything. As you can see, well, maybe you can't see, but I've got it literally like all over me here. But overall, it's gonna be hard to see because it's black now, but I got everything, hopefully it focuses, everything up in there is coated, all this is coated. I got the differential. Oh, bruh. I got this pretty well, coated that really nice and heavy since it was pretty bad. Over here as well, and we got all the way back to the back as well. So, looks pretty good. I think it's gonna last us at least 5 to 8 years, as long as we keep up with regular car washes and such, but everything up under here is coated and ready. We'll be putting the gas tanks back in on Thursday, and then probably draining that differential and fixing the rear seal to that. So keep you updated. Alright, so we're going to be replacing the serpentine belt, but first we got to take all this bull crap off in here. So I guess you'll just see us doing that. What do you want, like a flathead or a Phillips?
Yeah, I'll just start taking stuff off. Flathead would be great.
How about a four-way that has both?
Okay.
Take this
so
out, that fit over it.
Oh, I thought we were going to do that. Okay.
Oh, we can do that after the serpentine belt.
Okay.
So, tensioner pulley, I believe, is right here. Oh my gosh, it's just split down the middle.
The entire way.
Here, put this back on the screwdriver.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see. Let me flip this.
Literally, it's the serpentine belt is split right down the middle, and it's basically just a V belt.
Yeah, like that's not right.
Oh my gosh, how? How is this thing intact?
How are we gonna get the new belt in?
That's a good question.
Pick it up.
That's what I'm trying to do. It just keeps catching because there's like.
Okay, so it doesn't go around the fan, thankfully.
It just goes over it.
Okay.
V-belts!
Ignore that. This used to be one belt. It's right here. This used to be one belt. Now it's two. Look, it's literally two individual belts now.
Yeah, bottom looks good. They're actually, okay, I guess that other belt goes to the AC because there's another one on the flywheel.
Yep, goes right here to the AC compressor. Alright. Nice.
I'd say start it and test it, but that's kind of impossible at this point.
What? No fuel tanks?
Alright, next we're going to be putting on the fuel tanks, not like mounting them, but we're going to put them under there, hook them all up, and see if the rear fuel lines leak that we did before we mount them, because that makes sense. So we will show you guys that whenever we get everything set up. Alright, so I figured I'd do another update quick. So we currently got the front gas tank sitting here and hooked up to their lines, have the rear line coming for the rear gas tank. Up here he's just kind of hanging out, got the new fuel pump wire in. That's going to go to here, but first I got to get these old guys off, grind them off, and then I got to go up here and grind. You probably can't see it, but there's a hose up here I got to grind off because the straps rusted fast. And over here I got to cut these two metal lines back to where they're good and put rubber lines on them for the air lines. So I'm going to take care of that quick.
Alright, so for the front tank, yeah, the jack there holding it up, but For the front tank, we have one strap sort of holding it. We have all the fuel lines after redoing them multiple times. We have them all up and on there and hooked up. We had so we have this tank up here with one strap currently, and most of the lines in place. The rear tank here is up in place as well, mostly with one strap as well, because we are going to be putting gas in it and then testing it before we put everything back together. Right now, Ben is hooking up the fill valve, or the filler neck. Hooking that up. We have it bolted back in there. So we're going to be putting gas in it and seeing if anything leaks.
Alright, so we just put another 5 gallons of gas in it. When we came back, we had left this running for about 10 minutes. We didn't notice any leaks coming from the rear tank or the front tank. The rear fuel pump has to be working, otherwise it wouldn't have continued to run, because there was barely any fuel in the front tank to begin with. But in the meantime, next we're going to replace the air filter up here, and then we'll probably run this a few more times to make sure nothing else is positively leaking before we put the other 2 gas tank straps back on. And we'll tighten up, fasten the fuel lines, and then we'll be able to actually take this thing on the road for the first time in a month.
Alrighty, so we got the other straps put up on the tanks, both tanks. Everything should be hooked up. So everything is hooked up. We already had it running before when part of it was hooked up. Kind of running, kind of not. Same time, so we're gonna start it up here.
If I can turn the key.
There we go. Sounds like we got fuel pressure.
Hey guys, I don't really have good lighting under here, so unfortunately I won't be able to record the full process, but we're going to be going ahead and draining the differential gear oil that's in there and replacing this super crusty, almost worn through cap, because as you can see the gear oil was leaking through the cover, which that's not good. So we're going to be taking out all these bolts and draining it and stuff, and we'll show you how that all turned out or looks like whenever we get that off. So a little bit of an update. I got all the bolts out. Unfortunately, barely. 2 of them I had to take out with an easy out because they were completely stripped. There was just so much rust on them, they were just like shredding when they came out. Alright, update. So I did find like 8 bolts like these in my kit that are the exact same thread pattern and indent and everything, and I tried them out and they do go all the way in. They're just like, you can see there's a hair too long, but this does go in all the way, but I think I'm going to stack like maybe a washer or 2 on each one just to set it back a little bit, but I think they'll work. I got 8 of them, so I'll try to put some of these back in that aren't stripped and then maybe just use these up on the others, because I'm broke and can't afford to pay for a bunch of new screws or bolts yet, so we'll just redneck our way through this. Alright, so hopefully you guys can see, here's the differential cover off, this big massive gear that's controlling all this sexiness back here. So doesn't look too bad in there. I mean, the differential oil is obviously very black and nasty, so we're going to be changing that. The magnet in here has some crap in there. I know it's hard to see, the lighting sucks, I'm sorry, but there's some crap in there I'll clean out. But I got to scrape off this old gasket right here, and we got the new one, we got the new cover, so we're going to go ahead and get them on.
Alright, so Ben is putting on the differential cover now. Basically just cleaned everything and then shoved it on there with the gasket. Now he's tightening it on. We had to use some of our own bolts because some of these were a little worse for wear. We're starting to strip, so we decided not to use them again and just use other bolts we had that fit. So yeah, we're cranking it on there. Have the torque wrench here. Torque specs. Alright, so now Ben's hitting it with some paint on the bolts. The cover itself is already painted. No, you can't see anything. The lighting is horrible.
Oh,
But,
the sun.
yes, that exists. So he's just hitting everything with some paint down here. Maybe prevent a little bit of rust, maybe? So, yeah. I can fill at least 1 or 2 bottles from here or something. I guess we fill it up till it starts spilling out.
That was dramatic. Ah, the simple things in life.